Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yay, it's Friday. Yeah, we have a lot here, so it's probably going to be kind of a long video, huh?
Yeah. You guys want to know what I'm reading from my Good Earth tea? I'm going to quote Audrey Hepburn. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible.
Cute.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. When I first saw this field service demonstration leaked from a Kingdom Hall, I was like, Michael, you have got to come see this. I said, this is so mock-worthy. We're gonna have to do a video about it.
And the truth is, guys, I can't mock it. I literally can't mock it. Why? Because it mocks itself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the new phrase of the week is observable reality.
Observable reality, which is in conjunction with the law of unintended consequences.
Yeah, because when we play the clip, listen to the audience. Even the Jehovah's Witnesses in the audience are laughing. They can't take it serious.
And I'll give you my take on that after we play the clip.
Okay, so let's just play the clip.
I waited till I was 64 years old to grow a beard. I need help. I need help. You know, and I'm an ordained minister. I can't be looking like the wolf man.
Man,
what you got?
If I were you, I would just let it grow out as far as it would go. But I think I've got just the bit.
Okay. What you got?
We've got this kit, and it's got all the combs,
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Everything
Brush,
you need.
beard oil, beard and scruff cream, beard and face wash. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I need.
But you said you were a minister? Where's your church at?
Oh, are you familiar with Pflugerville?
I am. I live here.
Okay, right off of Finning and Black Locust. I go to the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Man, Jehovah's Witnesses, you guys have just been coming in here more than anyone I've seen. What's going on?
Hey, Jehovah's Witness, man, we like to look good too, right?
Nothing wrong with that. Well, they can check you out up front.
Okay, hey, yeah, I see you got other customers. But listen, let me leave you this. This contact card takes you to our website. As of this morning, it was in 1,087 languages. Please take a look. You can decide for yourself how you feel about it. Is that fair?
That sounds pretty cool. I'll take a look.
All right. Thanks again. I'm going to tell my buddy Oscar and his two sons about this.
See what I mean? I mean, how can we mock it when they're basically mocking themselves? I mean, this was ridiculous. Do you want one of those beard kits that he went and bought? And then
What's wrong with the pair of scissors that I use now? Clip, 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 clip. Move it around, clip. It does the same thing, and I'm all the richer not having to buy these, you know, grooming, these manscaping tools.
Well, the thing is it's got balm in it, and it's like, well, you can make your own beard balm, right?
That's what's sad about this. You want to hear my sad take?
Well, before that, I just wanted to say that as soon as I showed him the video, he went in the bathroom and was trimming his beard. So at least it made him go trim his beard. Okay, so what's the sad reality?
Well, here's the sad reality, friends. These Jehovah's Witnesses are laughing this off because they want you to forget, Watchtower or whoever's putting this nonsense together, they want you to forget and laugh at the fact that several years ago you were disfellowshipped, you were privately counseled if you decided to wear a beard. Maybe not disfellowship, let me correct that before somebody, you know, gets their little panties in a bind right here, but you were at least not used. You were frowned upon as a man.
A rebel.
A rebel. You were classified as somebody leaning towards Satan's world. And now you watch this, and all these Jehovah's Witnesses are literally laughing off how serious and how detrimental this was just a few short years ago. That's the sad reality of what I see here, because they're literally laughing this off when so much damage has already been done to a man if you elected to wear a beard. You're not qualified because Jehovah says so. It's absolute bullshit now that they're laughing this crap off.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad this stuff is getting posted on social media. Now, I've got a couple of articles, and I'm going to put the links down below to all of this. This is Sao Paulo, I believe, Sao Paulo. Jehovah's Witnesses in Brazil accused of inhumane treatment for isolating former believers.
And that would have included years ago of a believer growing a beard.
Yeah.
And now they laugh it off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an article, let's see, I forget his name here. Fabiano. He says he began to disagree with internal guidelines. He says that when his erasure within a religious community known for reducing social ties with outsiders began, suddenly no one wanted to know about him anymore. My sister-in-law blocked me on WhatsApp, bid farewell to me as if I had died. Friends too. And we all know this story. We know it's a fact. So Watchtower can say we're all liars and deceiving as much as they want, but we all know it's a fact. We have all suffered this. And everybody, you know, who's been with this channel for a while knows that our moms haven't talked to us for 12 years now. So tell me that it doesn't break family ties? It's ludicrous.
Tell me they don't shun?
Yeah.
Do Jehovah's Witnesses shun? No! You go to their website, that's the question, that's the answer, and it's an outright lie.
Yeah. Now, we got another couple of news articles. Italian Jehovah's Witnesses hostages held by jihadist militants released.
I wonder if they watched our video when we said, you're not going to get dime one from Watchtower because they don't already care.
Yeah.
They don't care about you as a Jehovah's Witness.
But the thing is was this news, breaking news on jw.org that Jehovah's Witnesses had, see, and this is a different country, you know, different hostages. So how many Jehovah's Witnesses are being held hostages earthwide that we don't know about? I've got to ask that. But anyway, they were released. 3 Italian Jehovah's Witness missionaries who were taken hostage by the Al-Qaeda linked JNIM militant group in Mali back in May of 2022 have been released, according to a statement by the Italian government. The exact circumstances surrounding their release remain unknown. Then it goes in, you know, talking about what happened and how they were released. And the Langon family had been living in a community of Jehovah's Witnesses in Kodiala for several years and were fully integrated, the statement said. According to the BBC, the family was planning on establishing a church in the city. So these were missionaries trying to start a kingdom hall in the city.
And Jehovah allowed this militant group to disrupt the expansion of Jehovah's kingdom? You mean Jehovah let these militants interrupt their plans? Wow!
Like we keep saying, I think their God Jehovah's on the privy.
There's no doubt in my mind about that one.
Now this was interesting. The family's release was made possible thanks to the intense work initiated by AISE, which is the Italian Foreign Intelligence and Security Agency. So it was Satan's world that got them released instead of Jehovah or their own organization who they were working for? Ay, ay, ay! Oh my goodness. Going on.
The law of unintended consequences.
Right?
You all know this statement is true. We all went from door to door bashing the government, telling how Jehovah's going to destroy the governments of the world, And now it's Satan's system, the governments of the world, releasing Jehovah's Witnesses out of these hostage situations.
Yeah. Going on. In collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. See, Satan's system.
Satan's world.
Immediately after the kidnapping first happened, and in particular thanks to AISE's contacts with leading tribal members and local intelligence services. The statement concluded by adding, despite their long period of captivity, the members of the Langon family are in a good state of health. They are expected to return to Italy today, arriving in Rome.
You know, here's the thought, Jehovah's Witnesses, if you dare watch this and if you dare think, if Jehovah is using Satan's system to release these hostages, to negotiate for their freedom, then wouldn't that imply and infer that Satan is still obedient to Jehovah's word? That they're actually working together in harmony? Think about it. See, because all this would do from Satan's perspective is say, oh, Jehovah's more powerful than me, and at the same time these people are going to relate this story and they're going to say how Jehovah freed them from Satan's grasp.
No, he didn't. Now, what's interesting is when you go down to the subheading, Terrorism in the Region, according to the 2023 Global Terrorism Index, Sub-Saharan Africa recorded the largest increase in terrorism deaths in 2022. In the Sahel region, representing 43% of global terrorism deaths, while also facing a 7% increase from the year prior. So I have to ask, why is Watchtower so stupid to send missionaries and Jehovah's Witnesses into one of the most dangerous areas of the world to start a kingdom hall? Oh my God. I know, stupid, right?
Well, it's called PR. Because when these people do get kidnapped, it brings global attention to the Jehovah's.
I guess they wanted to preach to the terrorist group. Oh,
yeah,
good
yeah,
Lord.
You know, Armageddon's coming tomorrow, so you terrorists better change your ways.
Yeah. Okay.
It's self-evident.
So along those lines, talking about this, I want to mention, I have a 1950 Watchtower here. Yes, this is a hard copy. Remember those? Here on page 439, subjection to the higher powers. Apparently the higher powers is this AISE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now when you go over to page 441, and it's talking about the higher powers, and it's talking about World War II and a need for re-examining the scriptures. Paragraph 5. Not alone in Germany, but in all the belligerent countries, the clergy of all denominations ask divine blessings upon the carnal weapons of the destroyers of human lives and valuable property. Their religious flocks approved, applauding and supporting the advances that were being made against the foe. But many honest-hearted persons saw the excesses to which the clergy interpretation of vital scriptures led the professed followers of Jesus Christ, making them the easy pawns of totalitarian dictators who demanded for Caesar the abject subjection of the people to the political state. Now, this is Watchtower talking about themselves too. Over on page 441, paragraph 7, about a third of the way down, they said, up till 1928, they too had held to the ecclesiastical interpretation of Romans 13, 1 through 7, concerning the higher powers, the higher authorities. And Watchtower has flip-flopped that many times. Now when you go down a little bit further, it says, holding to these conclusions ever since has cost many of Jehovah's Witnesses their personal liberty and even their lives. But persecution imprisonment, exile, and violent deaths were also the price which Jesus' faithful apostles paid for paying back to God's things and to Caesar only Caesar things, and for rendering proper subjection to the true higher powers. But such sufferings are not to be compared with the everlasting reward that they have received. See, and that's the point, is watchtowers like, oh yeah, they may be kidnapped, they may be killed, they may lose their personal liberties, even die. But guess what? They have the everlasting reward.
I can debunk that with their own literature.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. The nations shall have to know that I am Jehovah. How? Page 216. Jehovah's sword against all those of flesh. Page 216, paragraph 9. Shortly, within our 20th century, the battle in the day of Jehovah will begin against the modern anti-type Jerusalem. Guess what, guys? If you haven't already noticed, Jehovah's Witnesses, we're in the 21st century. False prophets. Forget the 1914 debacle. Now you need to put this in the 20th century. And we're in the 21st century. So Armageddon didn't come. So all those people that got their reward didn't happen, because their reward's only based on Jehovah bringing Armageddon.
Well, remember what they just said at the annual meeting. Let's play the clip again for emphasis.
So this is what we know from the scriptures and from our own experience as well about how the light gets brighter in modern times. It comes about by means of the Holy Spirit. Through his channel of the faithful and discreet slave, he reveals it gradually and at a time that it is needed. Well, knowing this, then, we are not embarrassed about adjustments that are made, nor is an apology needed for not getting it exactly right previously. We understand this is how Jehovah operates. He reveals matters gradually when it is needed.
So you see, even if the Jehovah's Witnesses lose their personal liberty, they should add, or their families, or even die, they're not going to apologize for any of this.
Well, let's go to the, what watchtower is this? November 1915. The watchtower. Page 5794 if you got the bound volumes. Look at what they wrote right here. Now remember, the 20th century, 1914, this generation will not pass away. This is what they write under the heading colporteurs and drama workers. Second paragraph, about midway down. Our readers should know that we never prophesied anything. we merely gave our opinions. No. See, those opinions were based upon careful prayer to Jehovah. That's their opinions, and you people are dying. You're giving up your lives for opinions, are not facts.
Well, the thing is we did a video a few years ago about another article. It says the true prophets of Jehovah.
Yeah.
And it was the faithful and discreet slave, the governing body. So are you not prophesying, or are you the true prophets of Jehovah?
Yeah. Well, let me go on, okay? Our readers should know that we never prophesied anything. We merely gave our opinions respecting prophecies and gave the reader the reasons for those opinions, showing the chapter and the verses. Nothing in the Bible declared that the church would be glorified by the fall of 1914. Unbelievable, this day and age. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Ignorance today is a choice.
Yeah. Now, I've got a few quotes here about some things Watchtower has said about other religious organizations and bringing in the money and their charitable works and all of that. And the reason I do this is because I'm going to bring up an article of Jehovah's Witnesses again and more property. And there's some interesting things in this article. Oh, and by the way, I want to thank everybody who has sent me information. We really appreciate it. But I've got another awake here. 1950. Yeah, 1950 was a good year for Watchtower articles.
Well, there again, because they got everybody to believe that Armageddon was imminent.
Yeah.
This generation will not pass away.
Yeah.
But what was that generation based upon? Well, you had to have been at the age of understanding. Well, what's the age of understanding? I don't know, maybe 14. Years go by. How old's that generation? Well, see, you would have had to have been at least 10, 8, 9 years. You would have been able just to recognize. And now all it is your life has to overlap the life of Freddie Franz, and you're still part of that generation. OMG.
So this is the December 15th, 1950 Watchtower. There's some good articles in here. Praise to the New World's founder. New World Order. The New World crowd of praisers. Yeah, but the article we're going to focus on is religious charity versus good works. Now we know Jehovah's Witnesses do no charity work. They only help their own people in the time of disasters. In fact, there's a new thing on jw.org in the news about under how your donations are spent, of them helping, how many hundreds of thousands of dollars they have helped worldwide on, and it's like, that's not charitable work because they only help their own people. And we already know, when I was reading that article, I was just, it was infuriating because I happen to know of some who have helped with these relief projects that they do. And what they do is, well, when you get your insurance check, remember how Jehovah's organization helped you. So they're wanting donations. They're asking for donations. They're begging for money. Okay, so back to this article. I digress. Religious charity versus good works. Hilarious. When you go over to page 507, good works, not advertised charity. Yeah. And you can read all this, but I'm going to go over to the second column here. It actually starts at the bottom of the page of the first one. And it says, Jesus who talked about the robbers, the man who fell among robbers on his way to Jericho. The Catholic, Protestant, and Jewish religionists have observed the spiritual condition of these poor people, but have steered clear of them, held aloft, and passed them by on the opposite side of the road. But haven't Jehovah's Witnesses also? Jehovah's Witnesses, on their hand, like good Samaritans, have searched out the spiritually sick. See? Not
spiritually sick, not physically.
Not the poor, not the physically sick. Okay, spiritually sick, maimed, and half-starved people, and when they were found, have bound up their wounds, have fed them, and cared for their needs. Not the world. Only Jehovah's Witnesses.
But there again, spiritually speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, have they, they do this, oh, look at how much we've spent in your donations to help relief aid. But have they told their members how many millions of dollars they're spending on CSA cases? Right on the homepage of jw.org, they have a picture of a war scene. And it says, oh, what trillions of dollars spent on war. Basically, what a loss, and it's like, but how many millions of donations have you spent on these CSA cases? Okay? I digress. Going on. It is no secret many so-called charity organizations operate a fraud and racket. For example, the New York Times, September 6, 1950, carried an account of how certain religious charitable organizations operating in Brooklyn, New York, including Watchtower, are giving the poor only 15% of the money they beg from the public. Well, how much is Watchtower giving the public for charity?
Nothing.
Zero! The other 85% goes for what they call overhead expense. Well, Watchtower, they don't call it overhead expense, they call it the worldwide preaching work.
You know, the sad thing is, Kim, is that today we can see this for what it is. Gaslighting the public,
Yeah.
but more closer to home, they're gaslighting their own members. Say, go look at the Catholic Church, but don't look at what we do. Go look at all these other religions, but don't look at... That's gaslighting people.
Yeah, going on. God's faithful people cannot afford to donate to such organizations. And Watchtower won't. They'll take it in from anybody, but they don't donate. They must use what they have to preach this gospel of the established kingdom for the benefit of the poor everywhere as commanded. But they don't help the poor with physical needs. No. See, that's the point, is as Jehovah's Witnesses, you would read this article and it was like, oh, well, the preaching work is more important than anything. That is, the spiritual is more important than the physical needs. So, you know, that's how you can interpret these articles. Right? I know. So, the 1921 Golden Age. Now I'm going to skip down to page 581. And it's talking about the FES bill in Congress provided that the distribution of funds for playgrounds, athletic fields, gymnasiums, and equipment, private and schools were to share with the public schools in the New York City money for charitable institutions. And then they have a list. 2.7% to Protestant Episcopal plants, 5.2% to Jewish, 47.8% to Papal Empire institutions, and only 44.8% to public institutions. In a recent Pennsylvania state appropriation for charity, 6 Jewish institutions got $284,000, 13 Protestant intuitions, $232,000, and 43 Papal Empire institutions, $1,560,689. Not one of them should have had a cent of public money. OMG! Because look at Watchtower. We've proven in the past, Watchtower goes to all of these governments to get federal money. We know that.
We know that for a fact.
We know that.
Yeah.
Now the reason I bring this up, because, and I'll put the link down below, BNN, the People's Network, Jehovah's Witnesses plan development on former Geico's site Woodbury parcel to be sold. Learn about the ambitious plans of Jehovah's Witnesses for the former Geico site in Woodbury, including the demolition of existing structures and potential impact on tax revenue and community development. Well, we know they don't pay property taxes on any of this.
That's right, because they're a 501c3.
See, and this is why some of us are bringing this to attention to Congress here in the United States, because they are building this real estate empire and not paying a dime in property taxes on any of this. The Christian Congregation Jehovah's Witnesses, having finalized the purchase of a 20-acre property in Woodbury from Geico for $27 million in December of 2022.
See, we already covered that once.
Yeah, so it's a year ago. Is moving forward with ambitious plans for the site. The strategic acquisition and subsequent development plan highlight a significant transformation for the property, which has been a central Geico office location for over 5 decades. Oh, wait for it. Upon acquiring the property at 750 Woodbury Road, the religious organization outlined a detailed proposal to the town of Oyster Bay seeking approval to subdivide the land. Okay, why do they need to subdivide the land? The plan includes the demolition of the existing 235,635 square foot office building, making way for a new 52,400 square foot assembly hall, a 3,900 square foot maintenance building, and a 2,500 square foot residence. Okay? Now, these new structures are set to occupy approximately 9.74 acres of the southern portion of the site, with the remaining 10.23 acres designated for sale. So they're going to divide it, and they're going to take almost half and then sell the other half.
Religion is a snare and a racket.
Yeah. Church officials have remained tight-lipped about the specifics of their plans. However, the brokerage team from Newark, led by Scott Burfus, has been tasked with marketing the available parcel. Burfus emphasized the rarity and potential of this offering, noting the opportunity to cater to a diverse range of commercial uses, subject to town approval. So they're going to push this as, oh, look at this great commercial opportunity for sale. And Watchtower is probably going to make buku bucks on this.
You know what this is called? To reverse what you quoted earlier, this is Watchtower's empire for the United States. This is how easy this is.
So I'm going to cover a few more money quotes from Watchtower.
Oh, please do.
I have the 1968 Awake here. January 22nd, 1968. Why many men shun religion. Page 5. The first subheading. Oh, you're going to laugh about this one. Viewed by many as a money-making scheme. The constant pleading by clergymen for more and more money is a reason why many men shun religion.
We don't need 14,000 Kingdom Halls sometime in the future. We need them right now. Under prayerful consideration, we need more of your money, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah. They may have heard that religious contributions in America each year amount to more than 5 billion with a B, and this is 1968. I'm sure it's a lot more.
I'm sure Freddie France at the time this is getting written is saying, how can we get our little piece of the pie, this $500 billion?
Yeah. Well, after I read this, I want to go back to the article I was just covering and read a paragraph right below where I was just reading, because it's hilarious. Okay? They see many ministers drive around in big cars and living in lavish surroundings, or wearing Rolex watches, or their bling, rings, designer suits,
designer patent leather pump shoes,
or the organization buys them a nice duplex condo. Going on. Their conclusion is that regardless of what is claimed, someone in religion is making money. Oh yeah. So they are prone to view religion to be a money-making scheme.
How is it not? Honestly, people. I mean, honestly, look. You read stuff like this, okay? Listen to the words they're using. Religion is a money-making scheme. Jehovah's Witnesses have long told its members, try to find yourself a part-time job that makes full-time wages so you can pioneer full-time with a part-time job. Now, a lot of them people have woken up and become, ex-members that are starting their own money-making schemes in their friggin' basements. I got a basement church now, says some. Give me your money that you used to give the Watchtower. It's the same scheme.
So I want to go back to the article after reading that, and this was interesting. Impact on the community and tax revenue. The former Geico site's transition to a religious organization poses significant ramifications for the local tax revenue, with the town losing approximately $1.2 $2 million in annual property taxes.
And you townships continue to do business with them.
Yeah. The future development of the remaining parcel, however, offers a chance to mitigate this impact.
Offers the chance.
Yeah. Depending on the nature of the eventual buyer and development plan. So the town is hoping that since Watchtower is going to sell the other half of this parcel, that they're going to get someone in there that's going to be able to pay property taxes.
Be very careful that they don't sell that to another church or another Jehovah Witness that somehow, some way has got another 501c3. You townships are going to lose big time.
Well, if they're that dumb to,
Which they are.
allow this planning,
Which
then,
they are.
Well, we've heard New York isn't the smartest state.
Well, all you gotta do is just read the local news and people are fleeing New York
Yeah.
because of their governmental structure. So you people really think you're gonna get somebody that's gonna invest in this property now and bring all this untold tax revenue? For crying out loud, these people are as ignorant as all get out.
Going on. The property zoning for light industry broadens the possibilities for its future use, yet requires town approval for any proposed developments. Well, we'll see how that works out.
Well, you've got huge billionaire investment firms saying we're no longer going to invest with New York because of the politics. Watchtower, you chose poorly.
I was just going to say that. They chose poorly to stay in New York.
Yeah, they chose poorly.
I have the Watchtower 1982 bond volume. We're going to go to April 1st. April Fools.
Really? Is this going to be another April Fool's joke?
Well, it gets better. It's on page 13.
The unlucky number 13. How ironic. Hey, you just can't make this shit up, guys.
We are going to go to the Insight in the News. You know those little tiny blurbs that Jehovah's Witnesses don't read? I'm going to read, yeah. A recent editorial in the Sun of Gainesville, Florida, contrasted the so-called moral majority with Jehovah's Witnesses in their approach to morality. Well, they can't say that anymore with all the CSA cases. In their the Witnesses publication, The Watchtower provides the instructions, most of them reassertions of long-established principles, noted the Sun, and the offender who resists loving concern is apt to be disfellowshipped, which means dismissal from the congregation. ... The discipline may offend some Americans, but it is entirely proper for witnesses to enforce their own fellowship rules. It is a voluntary association, and the exit is easy for anybody who wants out. So you hear that? All of you PMOs, it's easy. Just leave. They say it themselves. Just leave. It's easy.
You're being facetious now because every PMO listening to this knows they've got your family held as hostage. And guess what mechanism they're using? Coming from the, what year is this damn magazine?
It is the 1967 Watchtower.
1967 bound volume, page 587. The chapter of the article is Finding Freedom with Jehovah's Visible Organization. I'm free!
Wait for it.
You guys just can't make this crap up no more. All right, page 587. This is a study article.
Paragraph.
Shit. What is it? 9? Put your glasses on, dear.
9.
Okay.
You want me to read it?
No.
You can see it.
Because only I can do this. Paragraph 9. As the canon of books of God's Word was explained, and the Christian Greek scriptures were added to complete the Bible. Each book was written directly to the Christian congregation or to a member of the Christian congregation in its behalf. Thus, the Bible is an organizational book that belongs to the Christian congregation as an organization, not to individuals.
It actually says that.
Not to individuals, regardless of how sincerely they may believe that they can interpret the Bible. For this reason, the Bible cannot be properly understood without Jehovah's visible organization in mind. And this is why you can't escape, because you're in an organization that absolutely controls your life using a book that they tell you individually you can't understand.
Okay, without Jehovah's visible organization. Is this the same visible organization that just said, we have been wrong in the past, we're not apologizing?
Although there is no divine inspiration today, still Jesus leads his people progressively through the services of the faithful slave. Jesus trusts that the imperfect faithful slave will do its best to convey spiritual food. Do you also trust the slave?
Exactly. This is the same organization that says we're not going to apologize for being wrong.
We don't prophesy either.
This is the same organization that says under prayerful consideration, my God, it's just this simple. Jehovah's Witnesses, read, understand, pay more than the usual attention, but you don't.
Well, I'm going to quote a lawyer, something he said on the stand. Dang.
Dang. Yeah, good one. Good one, Kim. Dang.
When he couldn't recall something and they had the email and they made him read the email that he wrote to someone else.
Dang. Good one. I didn't see that one coming. I love it.
That was funny. That was funny. Because I love it. When you can take something like all of this.
Yeah.
And just throw it right back at the person. It's like, yeah, we were wrong in the past, but it's okay. Just move on. Forget about it. It doesn't matter if it traumatized you. We're not going to apologize.
Jehovah loves you.
We had way too much fun.
Well, there again, you have to laugh at this crap. You have to see how insane these people are. You just have to see it.
Well, that field service demonstration alone should show you how crazy they are.
These people have become insane because of that book. They will not realize that same book that Watchtower has touted to being used by Jehovah's organization that you can't understand. You will never realize, Jehovah's Witnesses, that book, when it says it's a double-edged sword, that book is your captor and it's your means of freedom. But you won't allow yourselves to read it with any understanding because you've already bought the bullshit. I can't understand this without a faithful and discreet slave. Jesus said in the time of the end there would be a faithful and discreet slave dispensing proper... You guys have been choking on that food every time they flip-flop a doctrine. But we don't need to apologize. We're not going to apologize as you're choking to death. But you'll never see what?
That reminds me of, you know what the definition of insanity is?
Yeah.
believing and thinking the new light over and over again, changing to a different new light will have different
results.
Different results.
There are no different results, Jehovah's Witnesses. There are. You just can't make this nonsense up no more.
No.
Like I said, this day and age, today, ignorance is a choice. You know, just like Isaiah chapter 1, I did a video on it. You got this alleged Jehovah saying, who required these sacrifices of you? Well, it was you, Jehovah, that required this, and it's in the Mosaic Law. They'll never see that statement is the key to unlocking the chains in your prisons.
Well, this is why they have to disfellowship those of us who are using our full thinking faculties. They have to erase us. They have to basically spiritually kill us and make it to where our families are afraid to talk to us. Because we know, they know, that we could wake up all of them.
So I want to extend my sincereful thanks to the Watchtower and Bible Crap Society for throwing these two away. Because what that did is that gave us an opportunity to get back into the Bible and see the nonsense that your Jehovah's Witnesses and or your governing bodies don't want you to see.
Well,
thank you.
Along those lines, I've gotten a couple of emails from current Jehovah's Witnesses and PMOs and others thanking us for the last video we did last week.
Yeah.
Because the fact that we read right from that new Watchtower study article that Jehovah was going to be judging, and then we played the clip of Splain saying that Jehovah never is ever going to judge, that it's Jesus. They said that woke them up further to the BS that is Watchtower.
You know what I see coming in the future? Okay. Going back to that scripture in Isaiah 1, who required these sacrifices? I never called for the sacrifice. You know what I see sometime in the future? Somebody finding a document that goes all the way back to antiquity, and it's going to say, who told you to quit celebrating the Sabbath? Who told you that my son took the law out of the way? Who did this? That's the Apostle Paul. Right? No. Who told you to quit celebrating the Sabbath? Who told you this?
It was new light. After prayerful consideration.
After prayerful consideration, the Apostle Paul said, the sacrifice of Jesus took the law out of the way. Who told you this? The Apostle Paul did.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, for sending me information. We appreciate it. Thank you. We got a card, so thank you, for the emails and the phone calls and the comments and for spending this time with us. We appreciate it very much. And
I just laugh at the insanity of it, because there is no legitimate cure for this insanity.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Well, just listen to some XJWs, and they go out of their way to destroy what we're doing. And these are ex-cult members doing this.
Yeah, which reminds me, I want to mention that there has been a lot on social media about a certain ex-Jehovah Witness who has done video or two talking about the annual meeting and says it's a nothing burger. There's nothing in there of, major new light or anything. It's like, OMG. Obviously, they weren't watching it and listening, or maybe he was...
Well, it's like what some prominent person just said. He got caught something in a text about the big guy Or a daddy sitting right next to me. Well, I typed that when I was on drugs and drunk, but yet you got all the spelling and the punctuation correct.
I've gotten texts and emails from someone who has been drinking.
Yeah.
And you can tell they are drinking.
They're drinking. You can tell they're high when they're texting.
Yeah. Now, something else that we heard on the news that is very concerning, just for the fact that we watch forensic shows, and we know, we know for a fact that some, especially women, have been victims of Uber drivers.
Yeah.
And some have even been murdered. And Uber has had to pay a lot of these cases, these lawsuits, because they didn't properly vet their drivers. Now, what is bringing concern to us now is they are starting a new thing, Uber Kids. I forget.
Uber Teens.
Uber Teens. Yeah. So now they're going to be specifically targeting teens for customers, for these drivers and stuff, and that raises a huge red flag, because is Uber going to be able to vet all of these drivers properly? You're going to allow your kid to get in a car alone with, you know, this person?
Mm-hmm. It's disturbing that they're running commercials on some YouTube channels, because I've been seeing them. And to me, this is very, very, very disturbing with the current political situation with so many people coming into this country without being properly vetted. Yeah. They're creating a situation for a complete downfall.
Yeah. Be careful. Be very careful.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Be very careful. Be very careful.
Because the commercial that I seen shows a teenager cutting himself at school or something like that, calling mom. Mom says, I can't come get you, so she arranges in this Uber for teens. And it shows him in the vehicle by himself texting. And it's like, oh, God.
Yeah. That's just disaster waiting to happen.
Disaster waiting to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Keep your mental faculties up here, friends. Not down at ground level with the worms and the snakes.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you for watching, and we love you. You have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.